So now let's take this query one step further and let's look at utilizing aggregate or summative functions by utilizing the group by feature within SQL. So maybe we want to know about all of the places that have a main office and where their main office is in given states within the United States. So we'd start by let's doing some basic filtering. So we're going to come down to the bottom here and we're going to use a where clause. And we're going to say where the customer address, that address type, equals main office. And what that'll do is if we rerun the query, it'll only give us back main offices. And then from there we can say and we can also filter on the address field of country region. And we can say where this equals the United States. I'm going to go ahead and actually, before I add that where clause, I'm going to bring it up into my select so that I can verify what the country region for the United States is actually described as. So I'm going to leave the first where statement here, and then I'm going to do a double dash that will comment out the rest of this line, and I'm going to hit execute. So it looks like all of the states are labeled within the United States are under a country region of United States. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my comment, and I'll finish my second where clause, pasting in the United States. And just for formatting, I'm going to put that down and tab it in. Alright, so we've got those pieces in place. I can go ahead and remove the region. It's not really necessary for what I'm going to do. So now we have all of the main offices just within the United States. So what I'd like to see is a list of main office or address type, all saying main office, the state that office is in, and then the number of offices. So to do that, I'm going to actually remove a number of these columns. So I'm going to go ahead and take these. I'm going to comment them out. You can use a comment here in the toolbar, or you can use the Control-KC, and that'll put the dash comments in front. And I'm going to go ahead and cut and move this line up above the state province. And I'm also going to comment out postal code. I'll need to add a comma here, take a comma out there, and I'll quickly just run this query to see that I get back all of the office types of main office in the appropriate state and province. So the last step is now I want to group them all by those given state provinces and get a count. So what I want to do is I want to add another field for my select, but this is going to be an aggregate field. And I'm going to use an aggregate function. I'm going to use the count, and I'm going to count the address.stateprovince. And then I'll use an alias and say as total count. Now, using the count function requires us to also use a group by. Without the group by, the aggregate function will fail. So you add a group by after the where, and you say group by, and what you're telling SQL is to group the results based on the non-aggregate fields. So you basically want to take all the address types, the provinces, you want it to group by those so that you end up with one row of address type and state, and then you want to end up with one row that shows the address type and the state province and then a count. So you're grouping by the address type first, and then the address state province. So by adding that group by, we'll be able to then get an aggregate. And there's our aggregate. So there's 12 in Arizona, 65 in California, 8 in Colorado, 3 in Idaho, all the way down. And notice that it are automatically sorted by these group by fields. If you want it to be more explicit, you can also use an order by. And we can say here that it needs to be by customer address type or customer address.address type, and then by address.state province. And that will explicitly force it to sort by those fields. If we want to sort by count, so we want to know which ones have the most, then we can simply say order by total count. Sort that again, and that'll sort them in an ascending order, so the largest one is at the bottom. If we want it to be in a descending order where the largest at the top, we would say order by total count, DESC, for descending. Run that one more time. And now we know that California has the most offices, followed by Washington, Texas, Oregon, Michigan, Illinois, and all the way down. So that allows us to do some sort of summative aggregate functions within SQL.